Am I the asshole for refusing to be a bridesmaid after being kicked out of the wedding party? I have been best friends with this girl for about 10 years, and we have stayed in touch after leaving the military. The last 2 years have been extremely hectic for me. I've gone through a series of fertility treatments, completed a master's degree, started a new job, obtained my licensure, and began a PhD program. My husband also started a new job, and we moved 3 times in 1 year across 3 different states. Life has been anything but calm. When we finally settled in our current state and bought a house, I was in the thick of dealing with underwriters scrutinizing our finances, making sure we weren't making any unnecessary purchases. Around this time, my best friend's maid of honor, MOH, reached out, asking me to front a significant amount of money for a bachelorette party happening the following year, which needed to be booked in advance. I explained that I was in the process of closing on a house and couldn't afford to contribute at that moment, but I would be able to once the house was purchased. The MOH removed me from the group chat, saying she would add me back when I could contribute, as everything was time sensitive. My best friend attended my wedding in October and got wasted, behaving rudely towards my mom and causing a scene. This left a bad taste in my mouth, but I tried to be understanding and make up for it, though it was hard to accept. Since then, I've kept my distance, focusing on my fertility treatments, full-time job, full-time school, and my work as a licensed social worker, which involves unpredictable hours and emergencies. Fast forward to a few weeks ago, my friend reached out saying her wedding invitation to me was returned. I explained that I had moved 7 months ago, which she knew about. While texting her back, I had an emergency with a client that required me to go to the hospital and stay overnight, causing the conversation to slip my mind. 3 weeks later, I received a message from my friend stating I lacked communication and couldn't be trusted, so she was kicking me out of her wedding party. I had already bought my dress, booked my hotel, prepaid for my dog's boarding, and taken PTO. She claimed being part of the bridal party required good communication, and since I couldn't even send my address, I couldn't be trusted. This was baffling, especially since I hadn't been involved in the bachelorette party planning due to my inability to pay up front, and the MOH had removed me from the chat. Despite this, whenever my friend called, I answered, and we had spoken recently on my birthday. I had told her to let me know about rehearsal and anything else she needed, but I never heard back. Her accusation felt like an excuse to replace me, which was frustrating after all the money and effort I had already invested. Last week, she reached out and apologized, admitting it was a stupid reason to kick me out and that she didn't want to lose our friendship. She invited me to still be at the wedding and wear my dress. However, I declined, not wanting to feel uncomfortable around the bridal party who now had a negative impression of me. I also suspected she only reached out because her replacement for me had fallen through. Now, she's calling me a horrible friend and an asshole for refusing. Am I the asshole for not wanting to be part of her wedding after everything that happened? To give more answers to the people being rude, I have been there for this friend for the last 10 years. I have been nothing but supportive. I have driven out of my way to see her. She just hasn't reciprocated the same for our friendship. I have been in constant communication with her over the last few years, talking about the wedding, talking about everything I went with her to go try on dresses. I have been a pretty big part of her experience. She was just having a meltdown a few weeks after sending out invitations and getting a shit ton returned that she just took it out on me, which she admitted to later when she called and apologized. Nowhere in my threads have I gone months or weeks without responding to her. She was very understanding that I didn't want Sheila all the money up front because I was literally buying a house and going through fertility treatments. It gets expensive. I contribute money and other places to help her pay for getting everybody's hair done and doing things like that later on because I gave a shit about her and she was one of my best friends. She just again had a meltdown because I didn't respond to one text message. In fact, when she brought it up, we laughed about it via text message that I moved so long ago and she doesn't have my new address yet. She told me to send the new address when I was going through all the stuff with work and I simply forgot to reply to it. So many other things happened after she texted me that I didn't even think twice to go back to it, so I don't think I am an asshole. Life happens. We have hour-long conversations and communicate regularly. I just happened to have my communication error during her wedding stress, and that's honestly not my fault. Comment from netizens. Comment 1. One of the best things my wife and I did for our wedding was to have no bridal party, just us. No stupid dresses, no overly expensive rehearsal dinners, and no drama. Seriously, why do people even go through all of this? Maybe a MOH if you need some help, but the whole bridal party thing has gotten out of control. This should be about the couple getting married and not drama-filled events that they usually end up being. Replay from OP. Yeah, it's been frustrating. I got married with just my folks and my husband's folks on a mountain and had a small reception. To a bridal party or bachelorette party, it's just too much. There's so much expected of you. When really nothing is at the same time. I don't know, the MOH handles everything and plans everything. I just was supposed to show up to rehearsal and the wedding and shell out $5,000 from just me for a bachelorette party. It was just unreasonable. Comment 2. Not the asshole, no need to attend. I question whether this person is your best friend, as whilst you have a lot going on in your life, the overall impression I get is that you are passive and use that to explain yourself. If she was truly a best friend, I believe you would have been much more proactive. Just a thought. Comment 3. Not the asshole. If you want to make any attempt to remain friendly, make the issue about you rather than her and her drama. Tell her that it's not about her at all, it's just that your life is and has been very hectic. It was a bit of a relief when she kicked you out of the bridal party and you understand that her life is hectic too. If she wants you there for her, you will be there for her, but only as a guest. Comment 4. Not the asshole, but personally I would just do it since you've already bought the dress. You might as well be in the pictures. If in a few years you guys manage to repair this relationship, then you'll be glad to have been a part of those memories, and if the friendship doesn't get fixed, then you won't regret losing the money you had already lost anyway.